Sara Dean, hi.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to see you. I love your yellow.
Oh my
I also love
goodness.
your necklace. What is that?
Someone asked me the other day, I don't know if you can see there's a head on there.
Yeah.
So someone asked me the other day, they were like, oh, is that your dad? It's like,
Oh.
no, I don't even speak to my dad. So that was especially funny, but it's
Right.
RBG, it's RBG.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I always have RBG around my neck, and it's like a guide, but like, what would RBG do? And
Yes.
so, yes.
I love that. Where did you get it?
Oh my gosh, what's the company? Somewhere on Instagram.
Yeah, you'll tell me later. You'll tell me later. I love it.
I got it like through an Instagram ad, and I sent it to my husband, and I was like, this is what I want for my birthday. And yeah.
So speaking of RBG, but not really, talking about just summoning powers outside of yourself.
Yes.
This week, I'm reading your hilarious essay, Home Birth. And then the rest of I just call it Home Birth, but the rest of the title is, I thought it was a good idea until I was 1 centimeter dilated. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I heard you read this at a storytelling show were we both in it? We must have both been in it.
Yeah, I think so.
Stephanie Wilder Taylor show,
Yes.
Based on a true story. Her shows are called. They're amazing. And I was laughing from like the third sentence through the rest of your read. It was so funny. And I've never heard anybody talk about their home birth experience in anything but glowing terms before. So
I don't understand those people. We are not friends. I cannot relate.
Tell me why you wrote this. And then I want to ask you also a little bit about your experience, but tell me why you wrote it.
I wrote it because I love a story that is where like you think a situation or circumstance is going to be a certain way, and then it's not that way at all. And a lot of the stuff that Stephanie has encouraged me to write about, I've been doing a writing class for a while, and she always is encouraging me to really like lean into all the ways that I really like to try to control everything in my life and be like a hyper overachiever, but then like fail at it constantly. And so when I was trying to come up with a list of examples of those things in my life, all these overachiever moments gone wrong, this was on the list. And so, yeah, I started writing about it. And then the more I wrote about it, I was like, this is actually kind of funny. Like, it's more funny than I knew it was a little bit funny, but it was really funny.
Okay. So in the story, you have a birth plan. Mm-hmm. You have a list of items that your doctor your doctor recommended that you procure before said birth, and you edit that list on your own, deciding that you're not quite as fragile as the people who might need all the items on the list.
Right. Yeah. I was like, this list is I do not need to be include all these things.
Right. So, but everything looks like it's going to go the way that you think it's going to go until you go into labor, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, like quickly I was, I mean, literally from the moment I had my first contraction, I was like, oh, this is, and the perfect example is that I was like, I had a contraction. I was like, oh, this baby's going to be here any minute. And the doctor was like, she told me later, she thought I would be in labor for like 36 hours. And in my mind, I was like, he's coming in like the next 30 minutes. Like we got to get going.
Right. And you just had like a couple of contractions and you weren't even.
Barely. I mean, they weren't even consistent enough for me to time. I had more like a backache, and I was like, the contractions are coming. She's like, well, how far apart? I'm like, well, I can't quite measure them. She's like, you will definitely be able to measure them.
Right.
And it was just like this comedy of errors from there on out, of me having no clue what I was walking into and being very quickly dismayed at the commitment that I made.
Well, so without giving away too much, my favorite parts are the depends, which I'm not talking about depending on someone. I'm talking about depends, adult diapers. Your dog, who you have like a little thing with, they're like, oh my gosh, the dog, all the medical, I forgot what you call them, medical professionals in my home right now.
Yeah. And the dog, and the panting over my shoulder.
Yes.
For 14 hours straight.
And just, you're almost two people in this. You have like this alter ego that's like your cheerleader, the perfectionist, who's not going to let you give up or quit or fail. And then you have the person who's having this real-time experience going, help, and so vulnerable, right?
Oh, I wanted to give up. I mean, I was ready to give up from the moment it began.
Yeah. And you have to listen to the story to see what happens. Scott is my producer, as you know, and so he's silent when I do these because I'm just reading them. And usually he's just watching the boards and making sure the levels are going. I saw him covering his mouth so that he didn't laugh out loud while I was reading. I've never seen that before.
I'm honored. So honored.
He had tears in his eyes when I finished. It's so great. I so appreciate you letting me read it. Thank you so much.
I'm so honored. So honored.
Yeah, I can't wait for people to hear it and see it. So check it out.
After what felt like many, many hours, the $300 birth tub was finally full enough for me to get in. I was so excited to finally get some respite. I climbed in and panicked as my pain was not relieved. I was immediately pissed by yet another betrayal and wanted a full birth tub refund. Moments later, I pooped in the tub, with my husband sitting beside me, in the tub. I remembered the weird fishnet I opted not to purchase on the list. Crap. My eyes were closed the entire time I was in that tub, because somehow keeping them closed made the pain less real. But for a very brief moment, I opened one eye only to see my doctor's assistant using my favorite colander to scoop my poop out of the tub. I immediately squeezed my eyes shut to erase the image. I was officially the crazy, yodeling, pooping home birth lady, and every shred of decency I ever had in my life had been fully stripped. My pregnancy was uneventful, low risk, and fairly run-of-the-mill, albeit full of nauseousness that routinely completely overwhelmed me. But I didn't see this as a red flag to my ability to handle discomfort. At 34 weeks, my doctor sent me home with a list of items to procure for our home birth. The list included a variety of things like a plastic bed sheet, extra towels, pads, etc. There were some other items that I interpreted to be optional, things that perhaps only more delicate patients would need. I was not delicate. I did not complete the list. At 39 weeks, my water broke at 4:30 a.m. on a Sunday. Within a couple of hours, I was certain that this birth was imminent. I called my doctor and asked her to come right over. I wanted to make sure she had plenty of time to set up the birth tub that we paid an extra $300 for.